God's blessings to you from our parish family here at St. Simon of Cyrene, with our ministry sites at St. Agatha and St. Porous churches. Offer this reflection on the scriptures for this coming Sunday for your spiritual nourishment and encouragement. Before we begin, let's take a moment to recognize God's presence in each of us and to give thanks for all our blessings. My brothers and sisters, Jesus seems to be throwing some very contradictory things at us in this Sunday's gospel. Take, for example, his remarks to the crowds regarding some of the scribes and Pharisees, particularly those who prance about in their fancy religious garments and lord it over others. He is criticizing their arrogance and lack of real respect for the law and the prophets, that is, in giving God the highest priority and not themselves, and caring for the poor. At one point, he says this to the crowds: "Call no one on earth your father. You have but one Father in heaven." But wait a second. Jesus, we commonly refer to the male head of household as father, and of course priests are often called father. I myself have had people refuse to call me with the title father because of their literal interpretation of this passage. Does that mean we should never refer to men as fathers? Of course not. Jesus is exaggerating this for emphasis. Yes, there is only one Father in heaven, the Father of all earthly fathers. What Jesus is emphasizing is for all of us to realize that absolutely no one is equal to the Father in heaven. Sadly, many men and women who call themselves fathers and mothers are not first looking to the Father in heaven to guide them how to be good fathers and mothers on earth. Good fathers and mothers humble themselves before the Father in heaven, who seeks only to instruct, form, and offer them the wisdom they need to be the best parents to their children and spouses to one another. God the Father longs for us to humbly accept these gifts, to pour them into us, so that we can fulfill all our unique roles in this life. But here's the rub, my friends. There has to be room in us to allow God to pour these gifts into us. If we're caught up in ego and power and superiority over others, there is no room for God. That's why I often remind our parishioners that as we pray the Lord's Prayer together, perhaps we need to say occasionally, "Thy kingdom come, my ego go. Thy will be done, my will become yours." We could easily say to God, "I desire for you to be a part of my life," but be unwilling to remove some of our personal and spiritual baggage that we cling to in order for God to have room to move into us. So then we get to the last part of the gospel. Those who humble themselves will be exalted. Again, we might say, well, now wait again, Jesus, if I humble myself, then how am I exalted? We might translate Jesus' words better this way. If we humble ourselves, recognize and embrace God's compassionate sovereignty in our lives, then we, God and us, are exalted, not in a superior way, but in a way that requires us to engage others to embrace this incredible life-giving relationship with God. The month of November is a time the Church invites us to remember those loved ones who taught us in the ways of faith, who humbly offered their lives to the Father, who in turn helped them to be the best father, mother, grandparent, child, or friend that they could be. We trust that they now dwell in eternal love with Father, Son, and Spirit, and are present to us, especially in our weekly celebration of the Mass. And so we celebrate their lives, their life on earth and their life in heaven. On behalf of the Catholic Christian family of St. Simon of Cyrene Parish, I want to invite you to join us this coming Sunday for a special Remembrance Mass and Unity Mass at 10 a.m. at our St. Martin de Porres church site, led by our contemporary gospel choir. We will be remembering in a special way all who have died in this past year. The service is live streamed and available for viewing afterward online. We welcome your participation in our community prayer of praise and thanksgiving. Please take the time to share this video with others. It's a great way for you to evangelize. And thank you for all the ways that you continue to allow the Lord to work through you, with you, and in you. In all things, my friends, be blessed.